Here's one I found that said, does anyone know a successful esports player well? And this is off of VGR.com. I don't know what it is, a forum. He goes, is anyone here well acquainted with any professional esports player? If so, have they told you any interesting stories or shared any interesting insights about their job? Guy replies and goes, nope. They're just regular people, some good people and some bad. And I hate guys like that.
Oh, shut! That's not what he's asking. Nobody's asking for that.
I hate it when people say that about like celebrity thing. When they're like, hey, do you know this person? Is like, yeah, they all put their pants on the same way. You know, some good, some bad. We're all the same.
It's the exact same thing as like guys who didn't do anything in the army and are like, you should never ask an army guy if they killed someone. That always means you didn't kill anyone. You didn't, you were like a fail army guy, actually. When like no one who actually like, knows a celebrity is like, oh yeah, you know what? Here's what I bet you were wondering. Do they go to the grocery store? Yep, because they're just a regular guy like you or me. That's what you were asking, right? Is this a real person?
So a couple weeks ago, Felix, we talked about death metal guys. And we read a review from Ticketmaster of this guy who went to this concert that was it was Deicide, but opening there was a band with women in the band opening. And the review we're reading, the guy keeps saying stuff like, I didn't take a picture with her because I don't want to be a part of that whole culture. And then like a little later on in the review, he goes, and me and her were kind of standing at each other, just thinking about the absurdity of it all. And I was just like, it made me uncomfortable that he was like, kind of like, yeah, they're all just regular people, but he was trying to act that way. And I think a lot of these guys, they try to act that way, but would melt if they stood in front of even in front of Ninja. If they stood in front of Ninja, they would 100% just melt and be like, I can't believe I'm standing in front of Ninja.
This guy's so annoying. This guy's so incredibly annoying because he also like hasn't even met one.
I know. He's just
like, no, I haven't, but I know that they're all just regular people. Like he doesn't even have the fucking first part of it, you know?
You would push your wife off a bridge to shake hands with Dr. Disrespect even after the scandal.
Even now. Yeah, you couldn't believe you were seeing Dr. Disrespect. This guy goes, I've not met or been near a player in my time, but I can say I've seen them walking down the street once near an event.
Cool.
They are wearing their team colors and whatnot. I can't tell you who they are or playing at the time, but they seem to be walking there for break at the time with people, and there were cameras behind them.
Wow.
Yeah,
is that a 6-year-old's report? Hey, I know you were wondering if anyone knew these guys, but like I've actually seen them, and they do walk on two legs and go to places like anyone else.
I did that, okay? Like years when I was a lot younger, I was 16 or 17 before you goof on me. I went to see Korn on Ohio State campus, and their drummer, David. Yes, their drummer is named David. He doesn't have a fancy name.
Yeah, that's weird. All of the other ones have such good names.
Yeah, they do. He walks into a tanning salon called Savage Tan for the rest of, I think for 10 years, maybe 15 years. I'd be like, one time I was standing out there, I saw David go into Savage Tan. I think he was getting a tan. Like that would be the entire story. I think he was getting a tan. Yeah. This person says, I can't say that I've met or been acquainted with any esports players that I know of, if I'm honest. If I have, I've been completely oblivious to the fact they were a successful esports player. I'd like to meet someone who's a successful esports player, though. Someone who'd be willing to talk about their experience and who I could ask questions and learn something. And this last guy goes, I've had the chance to hear about the positive vibes a few pro esports players have.
Very cool.
I mean, super cool.
Thank you, man. You're so generous with this fucking information.
I know. I heard a guy I've been privy to stories of the good vibes of Sinatra. That's who he says. One of them is Sinatra with two A's.
Okay, slow down. Sinatra was famously Me Too'd.
Oh,
It
okay.
was like a really bad one. Like,
Well, he had good vibes, though.
I guess
The vibes might have been off, I guess, that day. They might have been like, they might not have been real because it seems like his vibes turned out to be quite bad.
Sinatra is a Overwatch pro who, one of the first like big Me Too's in esports, and it was truly a bad one, truly very bad.
That's a really, really poor information there. The only sort of name we've gotten so far, not so good. I met TimTheTatman.
Oh yeah, he's I like him because he's he's really tight with Dr. Disrespect, or was, and like Nick Merckx. And when that whole like controversy started, when Nick Merckx was like, yo, I'm all about positivity and the fam, but if you trans, you not fam.
Yeah.
You can't transition into being fam. You not an fam if you fucking trans. When that happened, and they like, obviously they took him out of Call of Duty because it's like, they're a multi-billion-dollar company.
Yeah.
TimTheTatman was like, I'm not going to be playing. I'm going to take my custom skin out of Warzone, out of solidarity with my friend. And all these like conservatives who didn't know really who any of these people are were like, you're a modern day Robert Bruce for doing this. And it's like these guys are, TimTheTatman is a professional buffoon.
We knew him from the Ninja Roast. We went to TwitchCon. I went with like the Go Off Kings years ago, and we were watching all of these. Like everyone, like we were in a big Airbnb with a bunch of people, like John Hendren and like Drill and Dave and a bunch of people, and we were just watching the roast all weekend of these guys, the worst roast in the history of the world. And then so Rob and I, when we went to TwitchCon, we had a plan. We got to the front of the line beside TimTheTatman because his line was really long. And then we tried to sneak over and just we kind of said hi to Tim and shook his hand and stuff. And then we got escorted away.
It's kind of like being Bubba in a way. I mean, like really important guy.
Yeah, this was before he was a disgraced figure. This was many years ago. He was just kind of a buffoon. Like he was just a buffoon at that point.
Yeah. TimTheTatman is like, he's a very like, just like Ninja has a brother like this, where they're like, I'm a crazy gamer. I love Monster Energy and fucking headshots, and I, watch my funny fail compilations. But they're also like crazy Christian guys, like super big Christ guys. TimTheTatman, I don't know if he's disgraced. I think when the Dr. Disrespect thing happened, he put out a video where he's like, hey, chat, I just found out about the Dr. Disrespect thing. Obviously, it's a really personal situation, but you should never do stuff with kids. I'll be playing, fucking Valorant on Thursday. And, that's the most you could expect out of a guy like that. But
his roast was like, it was so legendary bad that it like stuck out in our minds for many years, He just seemed to not really understand the concept of what a joke even was,
It's funny because like all of the pro gamer stuff that gets to me, which is way outside of the whole thing. I only know like 5 Twitch streamers and everything. Every single time it's about like either texting with teens or accidentally doing something racist. Like they really could use some help with the people that like keep people in line. The like disaster publicists, maybe have them sit down and take a course and say, if somebody messages you and they're 15, don't mess with them back. Don't goof with them at all.
I think it's a really gross sort of group filled with a bunch of gross people who are interacting with kids constantly just by the fact that they're doing video games and stuff. And it's a really sort of, it's really shitty. All of the stuff is really shitty. You think about it, like that there's kids and they're watching that stuff. You know what I mean? They're watching those creators as like children and just sort of learning life lessons and stuff.
I know.
Like Logan Paul and shit like that. It's kind of shitty to think about.
With Gwen, when I talk to Gwen, it's like everybody she's ever had a time where she liked this person is now canceled. So as a Zoomer, it's basically like you get to like somebody for a while, then you find out they they get called out for some kind of Me Too thing, and then you have to go to another person that you're into. That's what seems to happen with her, or she's a poor judge of character. But I think she likes all the, she's a smart kid.
Yeah.
And she
You want
knows,
to go through some of the list of the people?
Yeah.
Cody Ko got
Yeah.
Okay. Cody, he was really popular, right? I don't know that, but he was
super popular.
So, like, a lot of people were fans of his.
Not anymore. He's not. He
Yeah, of course.
did something. I don't remember what it is.
He slept with Tana Mojo when she was underage. He was like 23 or 24, and she was 17, which is just like, A, illegal, B, incredibly fucking gross to do.
Yeah, and the way she put it, the way Gwen put it was like, well, the Tana Mojo thing was like, oh, he did that, but we don't know how true it is because Tana Mojo sometimes is a little weird. Like my daughter was being evil, and I said, well, you got to trust women or whatever. Just saying that to a woman, 20-year-old woman, but then she goes. But then we found out he was texting with another 14-year-old a few years ago. And we're like, oh, and she was like, well, that's when I was like, he's definitely in trouble. But there were just a few family bloggers that ended up being kind of bad that she was really into when she was
the Ace family.
Yeah, was she into the Ace family?
I don't think she was.
What about the one?
Ace
there's
family.
That really horrible one with.
I don't think she was into any of the evil ones.
Yeah, the 10 Passengers, Ruby Frank.
Yeah,
she is like,
that's the one that you want to just like. That one's tough to even. You don't want to get to the details of that one. Let me tell you, that's one, really, really awful, nasty. So that other woman that she did it with, like, I watched some of their streams and stuff. Oh man, weird stuff.
Like, I think when that happened, I thought like, I'm not voting, but I thought like if you're a Democrat, one of the best pitches you could do when Biden was still a candidate is to point out that like Ruby Frank and Jody Hildebrandt, the two people there, those are the exact type of people where Trump would pardon them.
Yeah.
Like that is the exact type of person that Trump pardons.